Hello and welcome to Photo Education Online. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about working in Corel Painter. Now we're not going to do a full painting from start to finish. Maybe we can try and have a tutorial like that somewhere down the road. Today I just want to talk about a very specific part of your technique, and that's the brush strokes. I've taken a lot of painter classes and worked with people and kind of watched the different ways people do things, and there's a couple of common things that I see that people do in Painter that, in my opinion, really doesn't help to convey the feeling and movement that you get from an actual oil painting or acrylic painting. And so I want to kind of show you what I'm talking about there. And what we're going to do is I'm working with this painting here that I did a couple of years ago. And what we will do is I brought up, this is the base image right here. And what I'm going to do, move this over a little bit, is we're going to zoom in. We're going to up to 100% so we can really see what we're doing. I'm just going to probably work on just this little part of the dress right here for today's example. What I'm using up here is I'm just using the artist brush, the Sargent brush. And my settings up here, I've got the size about 8.5, 22 strength, 100 grain, 0 jitter. Settings aren't that important. I don't want you to get too caught up in that right now. I mostly just want to concentrate on the brush strokes themselves. Now, one thing that I will see a lot in paintings is people that have brush strokes that don't follow the form. By follow the form, I'm talking about how the natural flow would go. For example, down here, the form's going this way, and it's got a natural movement this way already. You would not want to put brush strokes like this in this area. And a lot of times people will just kind of go like this, and they're doing everything very symmetrical, which, you know, I guess that's the thing about art, is if you're going for a very specific look, and maybe that's your style, but what I want to show you here is the difference between doing it this way. Let's do a little bit up here. And then how that looks compared to going with the form. Just do a little bit more up here just to give us something to compare. Okay. And we will come back to this in a little bit. The second thing that I see a lot of is people that do really long brush strokes. You know, where it starts up here and they go all the way to the bottom. They start here, all the way to the bottom. And the problem with this is because we're trying to emulate real painting, in a real painting you could not start way up here and come all the way down to here and still have the exact same paint on your brush, which, you know, fortunately or unfortunately, Corel Painter will let you do that if you've got your brush set up for it. And what that does is it really takes away the flow of the image. And the second thing that I'm going to do here as well is breaking different tonal ranges, where you've got dark here and light, and people will just go right through them with one brush. And what that does is really mutes that contrast and the three-dimensionality of it. And so I'm going to kind of show you that here. We'll do a couple more. A couple more long strokes down here. I think that'll be enough to see what we're talking about. So for this third level here, I'm going to show you what I think gives it a lot more interesting look, and that's going to be a combination of three things. One, we're going to do smaller brush strokes, and two, we're not going to try and be straight. We're going to put a little bit of curl to everything. And by the way, I'm going to try and stay inside dark areas, light areas. You don't have to do all the dark at one time and then all the medium and all the light. You can move around. You just stay in one area and you say, okay, well, this all seems to be about the same tone, so I can do that. And all I'm doing is just quick kind of wiggly brush strokes. I think the thing to keep in mind when you're painting, which is really hard to get over, is the fact that you can make mistakes. And if you say, oh God, I went too far off over there, you don't worry about it. You just patch it up a little bit and you keep going. Because in a real painting, a lot of times you're going to have errors like that. And when you go down through here to these transition areas, I'm just going to try and wiggle down through them so that I don't blend them. I'm trying to work fast here. But I'm not so worried about where exactly the brush strokes go and whether they are perfectly straight. I'm just kind of flowing down through the dress this way so that it has movement to it. And I'm going to try and stay in this area. Give some little curl. As soon as I finish up down here, we'll kind of compare these and see what they look like. Okay, I think that's probably enough for our demonstration. So let's drop back up here. Compare, there's the straight lines. We'll back up a tiny bit. There's the straight lines. There's doing the long flowing. There's doing much more. I think that has much more of a rich tonal range to it than this. You know, that has a very smooth type texture, which if that's what you're going for, but if you look through here, it's very flat. The difference between this area and this area is not a very big difference tonally. When you look here, you've got some lights, you've got some darks, you've still got rich color here that's very different, as opposed to here it all kind of starts blending together. And so again, that's a personal preference, but I think going through like this, you're giving it a lot more motion and depth, and so when you end up with your final piece, it's got a lot more brushstroke to it. Now, you know, again, it's a personal style that you've got to do the type of look you like, but that's kind of the look that I like to do, and that's how I do it with the brushstrokes. I hope that helps some. If you have any questions, be sure to send me an email. Otherwise, check back for more videos soon. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.